What's a conspiracy theory that you actually believe? And you can't just say like the ones that have been literally proven to be like, we really did do that Gulf of Tonkin thing. Holy crap, we really did test STDs on the Tuskegee in the Tuskegee experiments on African Americans. Like you can't come up with one of the ones that is like on Wikipedia factual. The U.S. government has admitted to already. What's one that you believe in that's still shadowy?
Man, that's tough because I was
Lizard people.
No,
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 I'm
no.
joking. I'm joking. Okay.
What is one? So I always I hit the same well on this. I want to come up with a different one for the show, but I always hit the plane in Pennsylvania where the guy said, let's roll and went down. And I think it was shot down.
Yeah. I recently watched a lot of stuff about that and how like the coroner showed up to like identify, like label the bodies or whatever, looked around for 10 minutes and was just like, I'm going home. And they're like, why? Just like, there's nothing out there. It looks like there's just a hole in the ground. There's no wreckage. Like there's just, I'm more of the thought process. Here was the conspiracy theory that was being put forward in all the material that I recently looked into in my spare time, is that it didn't even go down. They were saying that they just shot a missile into the ground and scattered a little rubbish around. And then they landed the plane somewhere and smoked all the people that were on the plane, killed them.
Jesus, that's a lot more complicated than just shooting it down.
See, but I saw the engine and stuff. Like when I did that conspiracy debunking PowerPoint thing.
You sure you found the engine?
There was, I remember the photo of the engine and I remember how it hit the dirt. And one of my points was how scattered the plane was, how parts of it were here. And
I could have been lied to last week.
Speaking of that bit we did a while back, Woody, we need to do that again, like the structured conspiracy thing. Let's do that next week. That'd be fun.
I'm just doing the same one again.
Just doing the same one. But I remember how fucking funny it was that Woody had a PowerPoint and like you would make a point and then authoritatively be like, next slide. And next slide.
I wanted you to follow along.
That was really
It's like that scene in JFK. He's back
that's a
and
good
to
one.
the left, back and to the left.
I don't know what happened with the JFK thing, but I do believe it was more complicated than just Oswald doing that.
Yeah, I think
like there were more people in play. Yeah,
I think
who did it.
I don't know who did it either, but I think there's definitely a conspiracy at play there. You know, I think
anytime I'm sorry, I cut you off. Anytime there's a president, he's going to have a lot of people who are against him. You know, there's of course the other political side, and in his case, there was like mafia and the Cuba and the Cubans and a bunch of, you know, you could just say Trump right now. Does anyone want to kill Trump? Oh, well, surely. Lots of people do. You know, he's in a couple of trade wars. There's motivation there. He's unpopular with the blue team. There's motivation there. You know, you could look all over and find people who haven't acted as far as I know, but good.
Sure. I just forgot my conspiracy theory. The thing that I think that there have been previous civilizations that were advanced that got wiped out in the past.
Oh, really?
How advanced are you talking about here?
Because like they got to the stage of like large stone structures and organized society, like Egyptian style level organized government.
Were they wiped out? An epidemic.
Well, that book that that I've read from the Graham Cochran guy, he suggests that it was the a comet strike that happened. I want to say 14,000 years ago.
I was afraid you were about to say pandemic.
No, it was it triggered this geologically proven period of global cooling called the Younger Dryas, where like a lot of the major animals in the world went extinct, and he thinks that was the cataclysm that like swept the earth clean of like whatever civilizations existed.
Undesirables.
It's possible.
Yeah, so that's the one that I think is Bernie bro for life, as far as I'm concerned. I am a single fucking issue non-voter, as I like to say.
Come to Amsterdam. Move over.
I'm not allowed.
Buttigieg was going to legalize it and expunge records.
I can't go. There are counties in my state that I can't go to. Most of them.
Oh no.
He has to hang out in his little quadrant.
What?
Yeah.
Because of the weed situation.
Yeah.
To me, that's just,
I'm on federal probation. I'm on federal probation for another
ridiculous.
year and a half. Yeah. I have to get piss tested regularly.
No,
not anymore.
They have called off piss testing old Kyle here for it would appear, because I call my number every day.
I was going to ask, you still check daily even?
Oh yeah, I don't want to miss a day and have to deal with somebody.
I'm glad that you take it so seriously because
Of course.
I don't want to get too distracted, but there is this thing that happens to the TSA when they check luggage. And the fact that only like, I'll make up a number, 1 in 5,000, 15,000 luggages actually have a problem. It's easy to get complacent. You pass it through, and there's like a 99.9% chance you were right to pass it through. So if I called 30 days in a row and they didn't call my number, on day 31, I would be very tempted not to call.
I call it every day, except for weekends because I don't have to. But yeah, I'm allowed to petition for an early cutoff of my probation after half of it's been done, which would be sometime in October or November, whatever. So my thought process is I would like to go into that with like a perfect record. You know, I would like my probation officers to speak highly of me and have good reports on me and all that sort of thing. So I try.
Did they tell you how likely that is? With like, it's 50-50 shot, or is it like if you keep your ducks in a row, pretty much 100%?
I don't want to go into the nitty gritty. I could explain it to you later, but I'm not too hopeful. I would say my personal opinion. I haven't talked to my lawyers about this because it's very expensive to talk to them and I'm going to wait till we get a little closer till it actually matters. Because I talked to them today, and then maybe they forget we talked about it. And when I asked them in October, and now I've just spent an extra $550. Yeah. So I'll wait till we're a little closer to the due date on that one. But there's a lot of people have to agree that I'm ready for freedom.
And you feel like some of the government guys are not going to agree no matter how wonderful you are. Like they might be anti.
Yeah,
would a letter of recommendation from me help? Not in the slightest.
What about from me? What about from me?
That would be even worse. That would be even worse.
Okay.
A foreign national lobbying to get man out of.
Look, Taylor Quip, this may be news to you, but cranium size has no bearing when you write a letter to the federal government.
We can start a petition on.
No, I'll put a photo in it.
Change.org. No, we'll get signatures. Don't worry about it. We'll get signatures from 100,000 people.
That's okay.
We could.
We can just make it happen just like that.
I just want the one signature. It'll be just fine.
I just want the only one that matters.
I promise you. I've been in scary rooms with them where there are no.
But okay.
Scary rooms. Were you ever hot light on your face? Like,
did you smoke the marijuana?
Were they trying to ever like sweat you?
Where you got
like
the
that
cookie?
Heat lamp? Did you eat the cookie? Yes.
I watch TV or whatever. Lawyer.
Yeah.
I want my lawyer.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's
lawyer.
You were
That's it.
very smart.
That's
I
the way
have a
to go.
question about interacting with the lawyer. If I was paying, I think you said $550 an hour with my lawyer, I would. Each okay. If I was paying $1,100 to talk to my pair of lawyers, I think I might be really rude. Like you mentioned a situation where they explain to you how probation works, and then they re-explain it. I'd be like, skip. Let
me tell you a little story.
For more money.
Let me tell a little story. I had a meeting with these gentlemen one day, and it's me, both my attorneys. Kitty's there. She's got notes and stuff because she's been my go-between at times, and we're going over things, and I'm trying to speed through this motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
Then I realized we're going the full hour. That's like we're going the full hour. There's no 45-minute sessions once you sit down at the table. I might as well start racking my mind and asking silly questions. Anything like, well, I mean, what do you think is going to happen in the next election? Well, I've got a friend. Just ask them anything they might know about that you might want to know about while we're all sitting here because we're staying for the full hour. I felt like I had all of my questions answered in half an hour, and then I realized, no, we're going the full 11 hundo today. This is we're
So
getting it done.
you add all your questions, they answered them, and then they kind of just filibuster and
They
just
just
bring up
reiterate. They just
conversations.
reiterate.
My impression is
rehashing.
that only happened because you were being polite. Could you have said, like, you know what, guys? 30 minutes in, I feel like this is a win. I got to split.
I probably could have, but I wanted these guys to like me and work hard for me. And so
Smart.
if that costs $525 extra, I was willing to pay that expense.
probably the
I
move.
really liked my lawyers personally and professionally. I thought they were an excellent pair. I had a lawyer before. He was more expensive.
Oh,
We asked Mo,
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah,
New
I
York.
know.
We're like, I was like, I want the best attorney in Atlanta. Do you know anybody? He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you the big Jew.
The big
And
Jew.
I go to this fucking law firm in this high rise in Atlanta, and it's impressive. Like the elevator opens and everything's like carved wood on the walls and everything, and like the carpet's even fancy, and there's music playing, and I'm just like, I think I'm going to end up paying for some of this music and carpet and wood carvings in just a minute here. And sure enough, but I would have phone conversations with that guy, and 15-minute sections, and I'm looking at like my watch, and I'm just like 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 12, 13. At 14, I start wrapping that bitch up because I know I'm still getting a bill for $200. It's coming for 15 minutes of conversating with this motherfucker. So
Well, all right, Smooly. Yes, take care. Bye.
So,
Well, gotta go.
Why was he a bad fit? I'm curious.
Oh, that was a whole different thing. That was a whole different thing.
He
yeah.
was too big and Jewish.
yeah. The
Is he the guy
guys
that
I was
helped with the explosive permits?
Yeah. I've had a couple of them where I've my legal fees have been extensive. Over the years. I've known a quintet of attorneys. Believe that's 5, right?
That
Quintet,
is
5?
That
Yeah.
is. There you go.
Yeah. So some good, some cheap, some expensive, some bad. Who are literally, I won't go into it, but they're going to pay.
Well, I'm glad you
And,
got good ones now.
I don't need them anymore.
Right, I'm glad you had good ones in the end.
Yeah, I had good ones for
Do
this.
you really
one.
think you'll get that one attorney to pay?
Yeah, he's going to have to pay. His insurance will have to pay because
that bitch.
he did a poor job, and it's provable that he did a poor job. Because there are transcripts of what he did, and it's negligent. In any case, I had another lawyer that was like $50 an hour, and I'd use him for everything. You get this? I'm like $50 an hour for a man with $300,000 worth of fucking school debt.
I had a
You're
free
never
lawyer.
digging out of that hole, buddy.
No, I just called to chat.
I had a free attorney. I really like her. She's in my phone. I forget her name. But when we were getting this house renovated, there were all kinds of issues. You guys remember Jamal and Ed and those guys and
contractors.
Yeah, all the contractors, and they're hitting us with giant like extra bills. We agreed on a price, and he's like, "Yeah, it's another $13,000," because he'd like suggest things or whatever, and I'd be like, "That is a good idea," not knowing that it was like $13,000 worth of extra stuff, and eventually, so I called her and I was like, he doesn't want to finish and this and that, and it's a problem. He's months behind schedule, and she would give me advice, and I'm wanting to pay her, and she's like, for a 5-minute phone call, no. I just want you to like me for the next time around when
nice
you have
gal.
legal problems. For 5 minutes, this isn't the kind of thing that I bill for. So
Yeah.
next time I have trouble, I'll hit her up.
Yeah,
But-
the $50 an hour guy, like I had him dealing with all my machinima contract nonsense, and I would have him like whenever my dad wanted a will drawn up or a trust drawn up, I'd send him to that guy. 'Cause friendly, smart guy who knew what he was doing. He was just small town lawyer, and he was like my age, so like I could talk to him.
I want to throw out life advice for people who may be in the same position I was a few years ago. If you agree on a price and the contractor comes back and hands you more invoices, these are the words. That is an unapproved change order. If you didn't sign it and agree to an additional price, it's an unapproved change order. And when work order, and when he hears those words, he'll know that it is an unapproved work order, that you guys didn't agree to a new price.
I've had it.
Oh, yeah?
And
I bet because of your real estate
we just-
ventures.
we just said no, we're not paying, and my mom takes care of it because here in the Netherlands, if I'm not allowed to work on my real estate stuff, because then it's considered work, and if I get other people to work for me and take care of it, then it's considered capital gain, which is a lot less taxed. So my mom's she's savage. She's just like, no, we're not paying. Thank you for doing the work, but we're not paying. And then eventually,
Nice one, Trump.
Yeah, they really like my mom for standing up, and now we've been doing business together with these guys for a few years actually.
Oh.
And
Good.
you know, whenever they try to screw us over, every now and then we're like, nope, we're not doing that.
Nope, you sneaky bitch. Thought you'd sneak one past
Yeah.
the goalie. Not today. Not today, because mom's in net.
Yeah, yeah.
And nothing
So-
gets into mom's 5-hole.
So we were. I've just watched.
Why are there
Okay,
no?
listen.
Okay.
It might not be a conspiracy, but it's more of like a like a astrology conspiracy,
Mhm.
where there is this this barrier civilizations will reach, and then they'll just go extinct.
The great
The-
filter, right?
The great
Before we-
filter, right? Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's
Dude,
what's
that's
interesting.
really
I've never
interesting.
heard of that.
Oh no, I wish I could.
No.
It's incredibly fascinating. If someone who understood
Great
it more
filter.
completely explained it to you, would be cool. But the core, Kyle, you want to take a shot at it? It sounds like you do.
I believe that the core part of it is there's this question, and it is why are we not, with our radio telescopes and our listening devices, able to detect intelligent life that's at least able to send out a radio signal or a laser signal of some kind? And so the great filter is the answer to that. It's all of these filters that that not just a society but a life form has to evolve through to get to that point. And war and plague, or all of the four horsemen are part of that filter. And it's really interesting theory. Like I like to go down
question
those
is-
YouTube
The question
rabbit holes.
is that filter that so pretty much you're going into the right direction. The one with the radio waves is even more complicated because us as a civilization might only use radio waves for a few hundred years or 1,000 years, which in the scale of the universe is like nothing, right? So it'll just see it for 1,000 years and then you won't see it. But pretty much the question is, why are we still alone in the universe, right? I feel like this is like an educational video now.
even
No.
our planet
Yeah.
has gotten to the point where we send satellites out past Pluto outside our solar system. You would think that so there's one possibility is that we're first, that we're the most advanced society to have ever existed. But as a numbers game, that seems improbable, right? That we're literally the most advanced society to have ever existed in the universe. That seems improbable. There's so many planets.
Well, you may have touched on it. To have ever existed, no. To still exist, yes.
Right. So,
Right,
so
well,
wait,
well,
wait, wait.
There's
Because-
different questions.
Well,
you know?
right. So if what I said, we are the most to have ever existed, then there isn't a great filter. We're first, but that seems unlikely. So
No, no, no,
what-
no, 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 no.
Why don't I
That's
get-
not. That's incorrect. So the thing about the great
Set us straight.
filter, you asked for someone to be able to explain it, guys. I'm trying to explain it here. Okay. So the great filter is the filter that if a civilization gets to a point, they go extinct. And this could be, there's tons of different theories what it could be. It could be, for example, star goes supernova, star blows up, whatever star, we cannot leave our solar system in time. That's a possibility. Another possibility is that we'll never be able to leave our Milky Way galaxy. But some other stuff that's even more interesting is that it could be that humans won't be interested anymore in 1,000 years to try and explore. For example, if VR and AR and all those things, let's say we create the Matrix and we can live inside of our simulation, why would we still want to explore if you can explore the entire universe within, right? Anyways.
Yeah, I
Also
was
be
headed
Mars,
to
it
that
could be
before I
everything.
was cut
Okay,
off.
okay, wait,
Yeah.
wait.
No, so
Wait,
there is a
wait.
possibility
No.
that. Oh my gosh! Stop it! You took the floor from me, told me I was wrong, and then I wasn't. So there is a possibility that there is no filter and that we're first, but that's improbable, right? So then we're head to where Queb was saying that there is a filter. And what is that filter? Is that filter that you lose interest? That it could be that filter is there's an aggressive society out there, and anytime they find them, they eliminate them. So it seems like there's none. And once we do make contact with someone,
But
it's the end for us. Go on.
It's also possible that we've already passed the filter, right? So if you look back at history, the amount of mass extinctions, we've survived, the amount of like this, the whole coronavirus situation could have wiped everything out, right? It didn't, and it probably won't, but it could have been it. So it's like, did we pass it already, or are we going towards it, or are there multiple filters?
There's definitely multiple filters, right?
Yes.
You know, there's the zoo hypothesis, right? The galactic zoo hypothesis,
Mhm.
and
What
that
is
is
this?
These
that
are
is-
interesting conspiracy theories.
Wait, that
Yes.
we're a part of a zoo where they took
That-
like
Yeah.
that
a
there are
bunch of-
intelligent alien life forms out there, and they just put up some sort of subspaced road sign out there that said "humans ahead, don't contact," and they're just allowing us to
Mhm.
evolve like fucking microbes in a petri dish, and they're not going to
Exactly.
interfere.
And-
they're just watching.
It's like that
It's
South
like
Park
we
where
are-
they have they get canceled, and you know the producers of the show, the Glorksians or whatever, are like, "Oh no, we put everything on Earth to see how it would go. You think that's how the entire universe works? No, there's a planet of deer, a planet of Asians, a planet of birds." Like,
The planet of
So
Asians.
yeah, that's what the line was.
Everybody's just crashing into each other all day.
there's
And a whole
there's a
planet
few
of nothing
ways
but
to look at
deer.
it. There's a few ways to look at it. So you can say, all right, well, this is a tribe in the Amazon, and we will not lay contact with them. We just let them live and this and that. Sometimes they see a plane fly over and they're like, oh, what's that? And that's the equivalent of us humans seeing UFOs, right?
Mhm.
That's one possibility. The other one is that these aliens are so much smarter than humans that they'll look at us and go, what's the point of us communicating with an ant? Right?
Yeah.
What's the point? They won't ever understand us.
I hate that
so
one,
these,
though.
I
I don't buy into that one because I
Go
think that because there are tons of humans who go and study ants and spend their whole fucking life staring at ants and learning about ants. And every time I see a Reddit GIF of like a line of ants walking next to a line of termites, and all the ants are like bucked up, like don't fuck with the ant line, and all the termites are like bucked up, like don't you fuck with the termite line. I'm just like, fascinating. They're in a standoff while the workers carry the food and do their fucking colony shit, and then the workers are at the corner like, don't you fuck with our shit, don't you fuck with our shit, termite. I'm fascinated by that. So I think that no matter how advanced they are and how inferior we are technologically, evolutionary
But-
speaking,
Kyle
it's
won
really
me over.
fascinating.
I was
I would-
anti-Kyle at the start of
No,
that.
no.
He turned me around. I want to see some ant termite fights now.
It's
I'd be
cool as
down.
shit.
I'm
Yeah.
going to
Find that
defend
GIF.
this. I need to defend this. So now the question is, are ants able to recognize humans observing them? And I don't think so. They might see, hey, there's something there, but they might not understand what that is. And
Yeah,
the
they don't know
same
they're
thing
part
could
of like
be-
a David Attenborough special. They're just-
When you break out the
Exactly.
magnifying glass and torture them, they start to get the message.
yeah, but then they just do that cool ant thing and just reevaluate the line and keep going. You know? Yeah, ants are tight. Yeah, man, Kyle, that is a really good comparison. I
Yeah.
thought
I'd
the
be
same thing.
we're fascinated by those things. Like how many nature documentaries are there? When I see the one about bugs, I'm like, ooh, I like these. Like I can only watch the penguins do their shit so many times, but these ants, I don't know anything. Oh, a leaf cutter ant. What? They don't even eat the leaves. They just feed them. What? They're not eating the leaves. They're taking the leaf cuttings, putting them down in the colony, and growing some sort of mold on them or
fungus on
something.
it, yeah.
Yeah, fungus on them, and then they eat the fungus. These are farmer ants, not leaf-eating ants. I had no idea, and it's
There's a
fascinating.
lot of interesting stuff. If I see two snails fucking, which I don't think they even fuck. I think one lays eggs and
Man,
the other
it's
comes
so
around.
hot.
I'm not sure. I'm like, oh, that's how they do it? I'm going to check this out. If I see two wildebeests making babies, if I saw two chickens, well, they don't fuck, but if I saw two chickens hypothetically having sex, then that would be a thing, or dolphins or whatever. Why wouldn't they check out our wars, our reproduction? Those things are inherently interesting.
But they might
think
be
they are.
checking it
Yeah.
out.
One of the
Right,
things
yeah.
that's for sure though is like, so one of the problems with them even hiding themselves from us is there I don't remember what the scale is called, but there's this scale of like civilization levels.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, this is a tier 1 civilization.
Kardashev
Is it
skill.
based on how much sun energy they harness?
It's
That's
based-
where
yes.
we're ending up. It's a technological advancement scale, and up at the top is what we believe will eventually happen, and that is when they're harnessing the complete power of a star with a Dyson sphere, and the whole thing is like, we're not
No, that's-
seeing
that's-
any
that's not
Dyson
the-
spheres.
So it's called the Kardashev scale. A type 1 civilization, also called a planetary civilization, can use and store all of the energy available on its planet. A type 2, called a stellar civilization, can use and control energy at the scale of its stellar system. And a type 3 civilization, also called a galactic civilization, can control energy at the scale of its entire host galaxy.
yeah. So the
So we don't-
idea
we don't-
is that
we're like level 0 then.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
level 0 there.
Point
the
something.
idea-
We've got solar panels.
0.7?
Dude, that's so dumb. That the guy who made that scale, I closed the window up, but Kadushev or whatever, You
Start a
could have
ship.
bullshitted
Start a
a
ship.
couple levels below where we already achieved,
Right,
so
somewhere
that we
invent
felt a
fire.
little better about it. You know,
Yeah.
like we don't want to come in on level
Discover.
0. Like we've done shit. We should
No,
be
no,
at
like
least
Randy
level
Marsh
2 or
measuring his
5.
penis.
0.7, guys. We're
The
almost there.
adjusted
0.7.
penis size is
Oh, the yaw.
our
the yaw of
adjusted
the shaft.
Our adjusted Kardashev scale is a 4.7. 4.7.
We're a level 4.7
So-
civilization.
Queb, did
So
you
if you
say
know
we're
what a Dyson
0.7? Do you
sphere
know
is-
something that, or did we
We're
just
at
make it a joke?
0.7.
Are we really?
0.8. Yeah.
Okay.
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 So yeah, this scientist, I don't know his first name. I know his last name's Dyson. He came up with he theorized that
The
you
vacuum
could
guy?
completely enclose a
Encapsulate.
star in a mechanism that would take 100% of its light energy, or there are lesser ways to do it. You could just surround it with satellites, like thousands and thousands, or maybe start out with 1 and then 2 and then 3. But you'd surround the sun at close range with these satellites that are beaming the energy back to your planet, and the idea is that we're like, well, eventually that just makes sense that you would need that kind of power source, and that would be the easiest way to do it. We should be able to see those though, because we can detect gravity by the way it bends light with our radio telescopes, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
So
we-
it should be almost like, in the same way we detect black holes, we should be able to detect Dyson spheres.
It would be
no,
tough though.
No.
Go ahead.
No. You're going into the right direction, but unless I'm wrong, we can detect the drop in light intensity. So when we look at a star, and all of a sudden, the light intensity drops because, for example, a planet goes in front of it, then we know, okay, there has a planet, it has another planet, there's another planet. But if all of a sudden a star starts dimming halfway, and it starts dimming more and then more and more and more, then we know, okay, hey, there is a possibility that there's a civilization over there which has created a Dyson sphere.
But that's just if we are literally viewing, and of course we're looking back in time because of the speed of light, but that's just in case we're looking at a partial Dyson sphere or mid-construction of a full Dyson sphere. I'm describing like a scenario in which the Dyson sphere has been there for millennia, right?
But then the gravitational waves will just pass through. The gravity just doesn't care there's a Dyson sphere there.
Everything with mass has gravity. So the Dyson sphere
so it would have
itself
an
would
enormous amount of
gravity.
mass. Not only the star's mass, but the Dyson sphere would even add to that, and it would bend the light of the stars behind it, and we could detect that. And it would also there would also be a gravitational area out there that has planets rotating it, which would be funny for them to. It would be like, what are they rotating?
So what you're saying is like it would be like a black hole, but it wouldn't be as strong as a black hole. It would be like in between, just a little bit stronger than a star.
It would
Sure.
be
Is this guy Dyson a scientist, or was he just like
He's the vacuum guy.
He's vacuum
guy.
He's the vacuum guy.
Suck it up. Have you ever experienced a $550 vacuum cleaner? Now you can say you have. It's like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and buy a fucking Hoover, bitch.
Dirt Devil. Yeah, that stuff's really fascinating to me. I love watching those documentaries about space, and I like going down the YouTube rabbit hole. I find that that's even more enjoyable because they're not selling you anything. There's no commercial breaks. It's just often a professor or a physicist of some kind, and he's really breaking things down on a marker board.
I was going to ask
done.
Quib, what are you up to nowadays? How's the video game thing? How's real estate? How's cryptocurrency?
Well, we don't talk about cryptocurrency.
We
Because
might.
the hackers.
Because of
are
hackers.
listening.
Uh,
I have no cryptocurrency. I've never had any cryptocurrency. It is definitely not stored away in a bank vault
on a
on a
special
Ledger
USB
Nano.
drive thing. Yeah. All right.
What bank?
In cryptocurrency, has it been okay for you? Like it, everyone was pretty excited about it in its highs a few years ago. You were on the show at the time. It's down from those highs, but there's more. What? You don't want to talk about it at all?
I'm that kind of guy. I'm like, he'll go up, he'll go down. But in 10 years' time, he'll definitely go up. So we'll see.
Okay.
Um,
Real estate. So a lot of in my mind, it's almost a cliche that YouTubers get some money in their pocket. They decide they need to put this into something that's real, right? Because this is all bullshit internet jokes, and they buy real estate. And then it seems like a few years later, none of them have real estate, and you've bucked that trend. Do you see the same thing I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're like moguls in their first 6 months on how great
They're like,
things
I got
are.
this. And you know why? You know
No.
what's happening here?
Mm-mm.
These guys, they get real estate. What actually is happening is they get a really, really crazy mortgage, and they can just like barely afford to pay the mortgage every month. And then their YouTube channel dips, and it's like, well, guess we're gonna have to start an OnlyFans or something like
guess
that.
I'm
You know?
fucked.
Yeah, and you know how I've done it is I've built it up. I actually yesterday bought a really, really cool place. I can share some pictures if you guys want to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Is it in the Netherlands?
Yes,
or
it's
Canada?
actually like you'll see. It's like the most stereotypical Amsterdam thing you'll have ever seen in your life.
Oh, sure. I've got a
Um,
Amsterdam stereotype in my mind.
Man, Woody.
Yeah,
So
okay,
many
it's
Amsterdam
gonna
and
be that.
Netherlands stereotypes in my head. I don't know which one to go with.
No, that's my life, you know.
I assume this
Yeah.
house
See
has
that.
wooden shoes. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You guys are making fun of my culture now, guys. It's unacceptable. All right.
Oh,
Unacceptable.
we're
Go back to
appropriating.
your hamburgers and guns and your crazy president.
And your horrible,
Tiger
COVID
Kings.
epidemic. I just checked the
Oh.
list though. Yeah, Netherlands is. I mean, it's
I'll send
a very
some
small country compared to the
pictures
U.S.,
in the
but
Discord.
over
Very
1,000 new
little.
cases today.
Yes, that's why I'm staying inside.
Wow.
So you don't pay. You're fine, Queb. You're on the back side of it.
The U.S. has
I don't know.
30,000 new cases today.
I don't know.
How many new cases today?
Guys.
30,000.
Is that 1% of 300 million or 0.1?
That would be 0.1, right?
Yeah,
There's
but
no
it'll
way to
give
know.
it 2 weeks. 2 weeks, guys, and it'll be times 10.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yesterday. I mean, the count's not even over, but yesterday finished like 26,000. Now we're
Queb, it won't be
30,000.
times 10 because we are not going to have 300,000 testing kits a day.
I think
Oh,
we're at like
true. Yeah.
50,000 now a day. Like they ramped up testing quick in the last
I
week.
just sent the picture, by the way.
Oh, that's an awesome looking place. Lots
So-
of bikes. I know that about the Netherlands. There's probably a pot
Yes,
shop nearby.
yes.
So, what specific? Do you own that entire corner building? And it looks like it goes
Yes,
back down
and the
the
one
alley.
behind it, actually. Yes. So I'm trying to find the second picture. Here we go.
Look how little those roads are.
So I got this one yesterday. Like everything was finished up on April Fools, which is pretty funny. But it's an investment property,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a bunch of stories. There's 2 shops, an apartment, few short stay apartments in there too. Which, yay, Corona, so nobody's renting.
A
Hooray.
short stay apartment.
Um,
Is that like an Airbnb? Do they have that?
Yeah, yeah,
in-
yeah. Think like Booking.com/Airbnb is in there, and it's actually in the heart of Amsterdam. It's like the most central place there is, pretty much.
That's awesome.
So I got it yesterday. It's probably my coolest thing I have in my portfolio. I have a few more things if you guys want to know.
Sure.
I don't have pictures of everything. I own a gas station.
I've
know if I
always thought
mentioned this
about owning
before.
a gas station.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
like
yeah.
20 years. Can I tell you my gas
So-
station story? It's short.
Go. Yes, I love talking real estate, by the way.
There
So
was
go
a
for it.
gas station near my Apex home, and nobody worked there. If you needed help, there was a button, and someone drove over. And there were, I was filling up, the owner was there, and I got to talking to him. And apparently, he and his 3 brothers all have 3, or he and his 3 brothers, that's 3 families, they all have families that live off 2 gas stations. And my mind immediately went to like, ooh, that's not even a 1-to-1 ratio of gas stations
Yeah.
to families. Apparently, a gas station can support more than 1 family. It's supporting, in this case, 1.5 families, I think.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, if a gas station can support a family, then this is really cool. And also, it seems like a very small amount of work. What do? Just call and have the tanks refilled every now and then? You know,
Restock
dogs.
soda and Monster Energy.
not even. So if it had a convenience store, you'd be right, but it didn't. It just had a car wash, and everything was
shit.
automated, and nobody worked there. A convenience store, to me, feels like a really high effort thing. Like there's I was going to say a million SKUs, but I don't know how many SKUs there are. 20,000? Like it seems
Yeah.
like a lot in a convenience store.
Lots to keep track of.
And then you have employees that are not highly paid working at the convenience store, which almost necessarily means there's lots of turnover, and you have employees that maybe aren't the sort that just come to work and are trouble free all the time. And I was like, man, convenience store, hard work. Car wash, gas station, practically automated. Just swing by every day, look for vandalism, and that's your whole job. But there's huge investments in gas. Like to own an Exxon station is something like $750,000 or something.
Holy
Like,
shit.
every pump was 200 or 250,000. Like it was a really big startup cost.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
So-
my gas station thing.
So I'll go over all my real estate. I don't think I've ever even explained it online, but I have the apartment I live in right now. It's 1,500 square feet. Has like a 500 square feet balcony. It's like my modern dream home, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some cool art, this, that, whatever. Really nice location in Amsterdam. Then I have another property which is won a few design awards. It's a house. I used to live in it. It's made out of wood. It looks super cool. Also in Amsterdam. And then I have what I like to call the gas station. It's actually a building with a gas station right next to it. So I own the entire building, which includes a gym, which is closed because of Corona. Yay. It has a car dealership, also closed because of Corona, a gas station, and 3 apartments. And these apartments are like on top of the gym. 3 or 4 apartments, I can't remember. And it's all being rented out. So the gas station, I don't actually own the shop in the gas station, but I do own the gas station building and everything around it. And I also get a split of like the amount of gas they sell over there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Nice.
that's pretty cool. Then I have another property, and these are all around Amsterdam. So it's like 10 minutes away from Amsterdam. I have one which is 3 apartments and 3 shops, but it's actually 2 shops because one shop owns 2 shops in there. And there's like a pet store in there and some other thing. I don't really know what's in there. Villa
I
around the
don't know
corner.
what's in there, but I bought it.
Yes.
Does
Yeah.
your mom handle the day-to-day business relations
Yes.
for you with all this?
Yes. So I'm not allowed to work on it, because if I do, then it's considered a job, and then I need to pay just normal job tax.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's an investment, and then it's considered capital gain, which means I do not pay
Mm.
any taxes over the money that comes in. Instead, I pay 1.5% per year over everything I've made or everything I own.
All right.
Well, now go ahead. Do you want
All
me
right.
to continue, or it'll be like 30 minutes until we're done,
30
guys?
minutes?
I guess rather
I
than
bought a
detail
morgue
everything, I
because it
have
was
some
fun. Yeah.
higher. So in America, they would call the kind of income you're avoiding ordinary income. But you're outside America, so I might be off target on that. Now, my father used to do a lot of real estate, and one thing he told me is that oftentimes the real estate doesn't make money. It kind of stays afloat, and then the money is made at the end of the deal, right? So this thing has been paying its own mortgage for 15 years, and now it has a virtually paid off mortgage, and you sell it, and it's just a big cash income in your pocket, you know? Or, you know, and sometimes people think they make money, but they're doing poor accounting, and they're not like, this thing,
So
the rent's
I've,
higher than the mortgage, but they don't count for all the repairs and...
Of course. And you know, all my properties, you know, the rental income that comes in, it, you know, my bank account fills up. That's cool and all, but where the real money is at is the fact that these properties go up in value, right?
So they're
on top of that,
they're cash flow
sorry, go ahead.
positive, but not by a huge margin. But they're cash flow positive. And then, of
Exactly,
course, you know, by the time you're my age, you'll be styling in the value of these things.
and that's the plan, right? And you know, you get the highest, the biggest mortgage you can get with the bank, this and that, great interest rates here in the Netherlands. But for example, the property I live in right now, I bought it for 500K.
Mm-hmm.
Then I paid off some stuff. It came completely empty. I renovated the place. I ended up putting 650 in a total, and then 2 weeks ago, well, 3 weeks ago, someone came over and he appraised the place for 900K. So I lived here for 3 years, made 250K just by living here.
These are euros we're talking about?
Euros. Yeah, yeah, euros. And that's it. And you do that with all these properties. This one I live in myself, but sometimes you can rent it out. You can get a mortgage from the bank at a very favorable interest rate.
How hard does your
But
mom
the only
work?
thing,
Like, is this
how
a
hard?
full-time job for her or something?
No. So we have people who my mom reports to. So my mom is like my business assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a company which takes care of all these properties. So we pay them 4% of the profits that we make, like the rental income. They take 4%. They make sure that rent's paid. They make sure the toilets work. They make sure that if there needs to be a renovation, they will handle the renovation.
Not the cost of it, but the supervision of it.
No, they will contact the contractors. We pay the contractors, and we have a bunch of properties they take care of. Want me to continue with the other properties?
Sure. Maybe the best ones or the coolest ones?
No. We're almost done.
Okay.
That many. Some people are like, "Oh, you have like 40 properties." I really don't. I bought an office building, like a proper building, like with parking lot. And the cool thing about that one is that we're renting out an antenna on the roof. So we have a roof, and someone's like, "Hey, can I put an antenna on the roof? Pay you money monthly." So we're like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And then yesterday I acquired the canal villa, is what the Dutch term is, because it's on the canal, like a stereotypical Dutch canal, and then it's right there. And it has 2 shops and some short stay apartments and an apartment.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things holding me back from real estate is I don't really want more jobs. And
Yeah, go for stocks. It's fine.
That's
real estate.
That's been my plan.
I mean, right now, great time to buy.
I read that people were scared that domestic violence victims would be trapped in their homes with their abusers. And my knee-jerk reaction was like, "Oh my God, you people will find anything to complain about." Like, is this really a big, widespread problem? Maybe I was wrong.
Is it really? Like, how would they know? Like, how could anybody know, like, 2 weeks into a U.S. quarantine where they're like, everybody's getting wives all over the country getting fucking, lit up with fists and elbows every night. Like, how could you possibly know? Are there an influx of
police
calls?
reports? Yes.
Police reports? Is there actually? I don't know.
Yes, that was the news story. Yeah.
So it is happening.
Well, there you go.
Okay, when I read about it, they were worried it would happen. It sounds like
theorized. She was asking about, hey, there's been a big uptick in domestic violence. No, it is happening. Woody saw it a week ago when it was theorized, and then I saw it yesterday when they were talking about the uptick in domestic violence across the country and what Trump thinks about that. And to his credit, he had a really good answer, right? He didn't focus on the single issue. He expanded and expounded. He said, hey, you're going to see all sorts of problems with people. You're going to see problems with drug addiction, suicide, mental health. These are problems that have plagued us for a long time, and this is only going to exacerbate these issues. That's why we've got to take this virus on head on. And it was just like, shit, that was a good fucking answer.
That is a good answer. No, I thought it was going to be a goof. Like, to his credit, he expanded. Hey, my ratings are great. Everybody's watching.
You know what else is on the uptick? Trump. I have a PowerPoint presentation here.
I wonder how this is going to play out. I'm of 2 minds, right? I can imagine a scenario where we get on the other side of this before November, and Trump looks like a hero for curing the coronavirus somehow, right? He will definitely say he did and that he led the nation and we won a war against an invisible enemy and things like that. Cool. You can also play sound bites of him again and again, saying there's 15 cases, like magic, it will drop to 0. Playing over caskets of 100,000 dead bodies.
You can only play those sound bites if you want a little lawsuit on your hands. So good luck with that, my friend.
Why is there a lawsuit involved in
because
quoting
Trump's making
him.
that happen. He doesn't care for it when you play those sound
Yeah,
bites.
but it would be.
Oh yeah, well that doesn't
right?
matter. People
Yeah,
will
you're
run them
damaging
anyway.
national security. We're not going to have
Yeah,
that. You're
and
gonna
you know,
get. I would be wary of playing those clips on this show.
on this show,
I mean, we know the NSA hard scoping PKA. You know?
I can see like the Democratic messaging around some of his early lines where he failed to recognize the severity of this coronavirus issue for the first month or whatever it was, first 3
Yeah.
weeks, and it just depends on whether I don't know which side of it will get traction.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It could go either way. I agree with you 100%. I still think that Bernie has a very narrow path, as he puts it, to victory here. I think that
Okay.
Biden is
He's
so
done.
frail and fragile. No, I think that he's done.
Bernie?
If things, yes, Bernie. I think that Biden could die before fucking November, dude.
Yeah, I think everybody's on that team.
Yeah, actually,
I think everybody's on that team too,
dude.
and I think that Biden is in that top
Especially with the
0.1%
coronavirus
people.
going around,
Yeah.
guys.
The only
Not only is
reason
he old, he looks frail,
Yeah.
extra weak and frail.
The only reason I haven't paid Kyle his $100 where he said it was going to be Bernie or Biden is I am holding out hope that when Biden dies, surely in the next couple of months that's going to happen, that someone other than those two. Now the bet was who would be announced at the national convention, right? That was the bet. And I believe it's possible that if for some reason Biden doesn't get it, even though it seems like he's going to earn it, if Biden doesn't get it, maybe he dies, that they'll pick someone else. Maybe Cuomo, maybe probably Buttigieg, right? He's the one everybody wants.
Can you
People
do
are
that?
saying.
Like, wouldn't that just
Yes.
kind of like take their entire primary process and be like, no,
No,
we're
that's
not
how it
going with
works.
the second runner-up. We're just going to pick a new
That's
guy.
exactly how
The
it
answer
works.
is you
This
can do that legally. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
They-
That's not
They
fair.
could pick Woody. They could pick Woody.
It would
there's-
be a bad move.
What an unfair system.
It's not meant to be fair. It's a party system. This is not a government body. This is not a governmental body of any kind.
That's
This
fair.
is a private organization. This is no different than the fucking Moose Club or the
Kyle's-
fucking Masons.
They
Kyle's
do better roll with the
100%
second
right,
place guy.
but it doesn't feel right. It does feel like the Democratic Party is supposed to be a government organization.
Oh, it's
doesn't it?
wrong that it exists that way, but I'm right that it does exist that way.
Agreed
That's-
and agreed. Yeah,
Most
yeah.
people are going to be pissed if it's like, all right, number one guy dies, number two guy's Bernie, and then they just swoop in and it's like, nope, we're going with this fucker over here. Like,
I can't name
what better way to alienate Bernie bros?
I can't name the specifics, but it's absolutely happened before where like there was a front runner going into the convention and there was a lot of backroom handshaking and fucking blackmail
Cigar
and
smoking.
yeah, like it's a key plot point in Boardwalk Empire where like I think it was Hardin. I think Hardin there was the Hardin candidacy or something like that where like Nucky Thompson's backroom dirty politician friends were like, "Oh, you think that guy's going to be president?" And they're like, "Yeah, he's leading all the polls. He's going into the convention riding high." Like, no. Meet Billy here. We're making him president. And it's just like, shit, they are making him president. And they just do. The votes keep coming in. They go, they do the votes over and over, like when they're looking for a new pope. Right. And finally the fucking black smoke comes out the chimney and it's somebody you didn't even think it was going to be.
Yeah, that is how it works. They've tried to make it less like that. You know, they removed super delegates, for example, so that one guy doesn't start with a giant lead. And they're practically compelled if the guy gets, is it 60%? I forget what the number is. But if you get enough delegates, if it's a narrow win, then they decide in a back room. If it's a widespread win, then they don't. But we'll see. I think there is a chance, there is a path where people are just like, all right. I know the voters chose Biden, but seriously, you know, he's a flashlight with dim batteries headed into the woods.
If he continues to embarrass himself and they realize the emperor's lights are a little dim, I think that could happen. Like if he truly embarrasses himself, like if he like had a fit. Like what
if, for example, he challenged a union worker to a fist fight and a fat dude to a push-up
No.
contest?
I'm talking about a humiliation. I'm talking about true humiliation. Like, and for it to happen,
Like he poops his pants in the middle of the debate.
no, it's got to be worse than pooping his pants. Like first of all, it can't be some sort of telecast thing because they'll cut away. They'll cut away right away. It has to be all the cameras are there, and there are cell phone cameras
Taking
there.
a picture with a Girl Scout troop with his dick out. It's
like that might do it. He has to literally forget what year it is, or like who his opponent is. He has to start thinking that he's the current vice president or something like that.
he did
if
something like that already. He was like, when I was with Barack in 2000.
No. That's him misspeaking a little. He has to lose it and then break down and like cry. Like you have to see like
or if his teeth fall out all the way.
People run with the misspeaking thing, I think, a little too much, right? You know, like I'm sure I've said PKN when it's PKA on the show, and that's just a misspeak, right?
well, I don't want you to be president either.
No.
But if
No,
they're-
I would vote for any of the four.
Listen up. I'm going to be replacing you as the new host.
Checkmate.
We voted. We made the votes.
If they
I
run-
look way better than you. I'm funnier than you. And yeah.
all these things are
That's it.
true. But if they would have run with it and be like, Woody doesn't even know what night it is. He doesn't know what show he's doing. He doesn't know where he is. He's confused. He's old. It's like, no, you really made a lot out of swapping those letters. You know,
I mean, I already started with the intro this episode. I'm practicing, guys, right?
That's true.
It's in the works,
you've got a
boys.
knack for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know numbers and letters. It can't be argued with.
There we go.
he can order them both.
He speaks at least one language fluently, which is more than any of us can say.
That's true. Yeah, that Biden, I don't think that he's like a genuinely insane person, but his level of misspeaking is leaps and bounds more than mistaking PKA.
Who thinks he
for
raped
PKA.
that lady?
I have no idea. I mean, he doesn't help his case with all the weird little like hair sniffing of young girls. That's gotta stop.
He
think
raped
he might
one
have raped
lady. One lady? Yeah, those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
Finger banged this lady against a wall.
Oh,
My sponsors don't like
Wait,
this, guys.
Wait, Kyle, when you're vice president, they let you do it.
They'll let you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he might have raped that lady. I think he might have. And I look, I've never sniffed a child.
Missing
Never.
out.
Yeah.
Not once. I don't know what a
smell
child
like baby
smells
powder
like.
if you get them fresh enough.
They must smell like fucking cotton candy to Joe Biden does, is all I'm saying. Like he goes after a child's nape the same way a dog goes after another dog's asshole.
Isn't
yeah.
there a True Blood thing where they love smelling them?
okay,
Am I
what did he
crazy?
do?
Well,
How did he
Sookie smells delicious because she's a fairy. So that's you're kind of on point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
There's
Queb, to answer your thing, you were saying, what did he do? Because you're not
Yeah,
American,
like-
you don't know. There's
Yeah.
if you just go into YouTube and type in Joe Biden creep or something, there are long compilations of him like standing behind like a fellow, like a donor's wife and like young 7-year-old daughter, and he'll like walk up behind the girl and like massage way too closely and like get down by their ear and like whisper and like sniff the top of their head and like reach around in hugs that are way too touchy feely. And then so many photos of him like grabbing around like girls and like public photographs, and the young girl's face is doing that like, I don't know what to do right now.
Yeah. Oh my
he's
God.
kind of the vice president.
So that's one thing I don't like. The other part of it I don't like is he pretty much cucks these men, right? Like he just walks up, he grabs the
their
their wife's
dogs.
waist, puts his hand around his wife, maybe smells her hair, smells his kid's hair, and as the dad, I'm like, would I wrestle the vice president in this situation? I like to think I would. I like to think I'd go
no.
straight for a double leg takedown and say, no one touches my daughter. But no one does. All of them just sit there and say, oh, yeah, sorry, baby, he's kind of a hair sniffer.
This is the Democrats for the last 4 years have been throwing a shit fit 24/7. We got to get Trump out. We got to get him out. And it's like, this is the guy. This is the guy that you show up with.
Yeah.
Kissing your own granddaughter on
would
the lips on TV.
It must never happen because I am positive he started sniffing some daughter's hair and the dad was like, no,
Yeah.
hands off, hands off. That would be on the internet. That would be on Creepy Joe. That guy would be famous. And he'd be
I've seen a father pull the daughter away.
Oh, yeah.
subtly,
We watched that
gently,
slow
and with
motion
class. No. I need to do them Woody style where they want to fight on an airplane. I want some guy to say like, fuck no, stand his ground right there.
Of all
I mean,
Trump's-
if you
of
look
all
at this
Trump's-
image right here, he's going.
What
There's
am I
tongue in that second photo.
looking
Who's
at?
what's his name?
Is that
who's
his daughter?
That's his granddaughter. He's kissing her
okay,
right on
okay,
the
wait.
mouth like he's Tom
Is that-
Brady.
is
This
that
man
on the
doesn't have a
mouth?
single championship. He can't
Is
kiss
that-
children on the mouth.
Yeah,
Guys,
grandchildren
guys,
are
is it
fertile
on the
ground
mouth,
for
or
hookups.
is it going for the cheek and that they pause it?
Not only is that on the mouth,
No,
I've
no,
got a
yeah.
completely separate image of him kissing his granddaughter on the
With a
mouth.
different
Okay,
granddaughter.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Also,
he's a creep.
Joe Biden's granddaughter, super hot.
Yeah,
I'd
you
kiss-
know,
I'd
first
kiss
of
her on
all,
the mouth if
you're
she was
not
my
giving Joe
granddaughter,
Biden
too.
enough credit for the chicks he's pulling, right?
He's pulling this oh, I'll see you on Thanksgiving
I
again,
go on with-
sweetheart.
Guys, it's not normal to do that outside of America. Okay, let me just,
It's not
just
normal
so you guys
here.
know.
Yeah, it's just,
Well, it's not
him
normal here.
smell
Not-
this
oh.
woman's hair or whisper into her ear or something, and it's bad. And I'm like the blue team defender on here, and this behavior is just not okay. Although kissing
Dude,
your
of all
granddaughter is.
Of all Trump's nicknames, Creepy Joe is gonna stick the most because it really does resonate. I think
It's hard to
Like-
rank them. There's a couple that really stick.
there's a couple really funny ones.
I wish
but
he
then
had
started
one
reusing
about
a couple.
Graham that was gayer. You know,
Graham?
Light
Well, that's
Loafers
his-
Lindsay or something.
Oh
Like,
no, he wouldn't do that. They're on the same team these days.
these days, but he
Lindsey
could've done
Graham
it a
was
while back.
eloquent the other day.
Lindsay Loafers is funny. I like that.
Lindsay Lighten the Loafers Graham was eloquent on the floor of the whatever, the Senate or the House, whatever the fuck he is. He was talking about people arguing for more pork in the stimulus bill, and he didn't have any notes. That man can speak. He's a fucking orator. I gotta say, like, I don't care for that guy. I don't like his politics per se, but god damn, I watched him for a solid 20 fucking minutes or something like that. He didn't stutter. He was talking about big things. He was going over the stimulus bill down to like the teens of billions that were being spent. And he's like, and the most important 18 billion, maybe the most important 18 billion that we'll ever spend is going to this and that. And he was explaining that like it's going to pay these drug companies to push ahead with experimental drugs, even if they're before the testing phase. Like essentially the deal is like before they prove the drug works, he wants them to get the wheels rolling on production. And if it doesn't work out, they're going to pay them anyway. That way that way they don't have to. It gives them an extra step,
Yeah,
and the
no
government's
doubt.
two
ensuring
steps go in
that
parallel.
step.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the government's ensuring that step that may not work out. It's like, hey, we might have a thing that works. We don't know. Normally, we'd keep production very small. We'd make 100 doses and test them for 3 months. And they're like, no. Let's get ready to make 10 million doses. And if it doesn't work out, we'll still pay you. And if it does work out, then we're 3 months ahead.
I generally don't like Lindsey Graham, but I do like it when politicians prove expertise in the details.
Yeah.
You know, like it's an area where Trump kind of falls flat. You know, he
For sure.
just goes with his hunches and his gut and navigates that way. It's an area where Bill Clinton, you guys were young in the 90s, but where Bill Clinton was really strong. He was always like deep in the weeds. Is that right? I may be messing my metaphors up, but he was always way in the details on his stuff and knew exactly what was happening. He was unstumpable on whatever the current issues were and what the
How much longer is this press conference going to take? I got like 3 hours left on this, man.
arguments and counter arguments were. So yeah, that's cool about Lindsey Graham.
I thought like everybody made fun of Reagan for being dumb, but I every time I go back and listen to him speak, god damn.
Well, I mean, he had dementia and Alzheimer's in the end, right?
In the end, yes. And
I'm
sure,
saying that's what they're
that was
probably
our first
doing.
female. Nancy Reagan was our first female president. She was running the show for like a year and a half easily.
Nancy, you think?
There may be
HW.
another circumstance of a president going down and his wife was stepping in. I don't recall.
I would have guessed
could be.
HW was in charge, right?
That would be my guess, but I know not. I'm just guessing. HW
No,
was his
everything was going
VP.
through Nancy.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Is she dead or not? Is she not
Yeah,
dead?
she died
She's
recently, I thought. Yeah. Yeah, I was watching a bunch of Reagan shit the other day, like all of his one-liners and his jokes. They're fucking hilarious. And they opened his working desk, right? The desk that he was using when he passed away. And there's a there's a cardboard box full of 3x5 cards, front and back, jokes. It's jokes. He's got jokes for days. I'm trying to remember one of them.
He was too old when he was running for re-election in the debate. Do you remember that one?
I will not use my. They're like, Mr. Reagan, at 72 years old, you will be the oldest person to ever run for president. I'm not going to take advantage of my opponent's inexperience and young age, so I will not cover that topic.
His
No, thank
opponent
you.
was like 65.
Yeah, his opponent like looks way older than he is, but he is only like
He had gray hair.
Dukakis
Yeah.
or whoever it was. He's 65 over there.
Yep. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of
It
what he
probably
sounds
wasn't. He had one, and he was talking about how in the Soviet Union, if you want
Mondale?
a car, you've got to put down a deposit on this thing 10 years in advance, because the cars go to the government, they go to very special people. So if you're a regular civilian, you want a car 10 years in advance. And he said, so this fella saved up his money, and he went down to the car store, and he gave them the deposit. And they said, all right, come back in 10 years and we'll have your car ready for you. And he said, morning or afternoon? And they said, sir, 10 years from now, what difference does it make? He said, well, the plumber's coming in the morning.
What the fuck does he sound like? Well, he's Reagan a little more. Damn it, I need to figure.
That's pretty close. That's pretty close. No, that's fading into Nixon.
Haru. Yeah, the Futurama Nixon.
This
the
is
really,
my
very
Reagan
soothing.
accent.
This is my Reagan accent. And it's very soothing and like God, the guy was a fucking cowboy, right? He's an actor. So like he's delivering these campaign speeches like he's playing Julius Caesar or something like that. You can't
having a blast. Yeah.
He's incredible at it. He's so good, you know. Say what you want about Reaganomics and trickle down, but
We're still trying it. We'll get it.
Dude, name just one
bank-
30-year stretch that it hasn't worked at all.
I bankrupted the Soviets. That's all that matters. God damn it.
Hooray.
You dirty red. He had one
Yeah.
about he said he was driving along and
Ruskies.
that was not even that funny. It was the three-legged chicken speeds past. He's driving 50 miles an hour, and a three-legged chicken speeds past him, outrunning his car. He can't believe it. He follows the thing into a barnyard, and he pulls over, and there's a farmer there, and he says, "Did you just see a three-legged chicken run through here?" And the farmer says, "Yeah, I breed them that way." He said, "Yeah. I like drumsticks, and the wife liked drumsticks, and Junior, he likes them too. So I figured I'd breed a chicken that 3 legs, 3 drumsticks." He said, "How do they taste?" I said, "Well, I don't know. I haven't caught one yet." He just had oodles of these, just these little funny little one-liners, you know.